All right, sir. Thank you for stopping by MCON Gameday. How's your day been in Vegas so far?
It's been great. Yeah, this is kind of a fun event.
You're still in the venue. You haven't exited to the casinos.
It is day 2, so I can't tell you that I've had a ton of restful sleep, but I am ready.
You look good. You look good. Feel good. We're here. All right, Tennessee, kick us off.
Well, so far it's only been me betting on black, and then once I hit
he's won. I lost.
Yeah, but I'll hit if I get $40, I walk away. That's as crazy as I get. And he's like, keep letting it ride. I'm like, we're done.
This is why I don't come to Vegas.
Yeah. No, that's fair. No, I'm more of a completely dump all of my money in one shot, feel really bad about it.
See, I want to go
and then
with
you're done.
you.
Yeah. And then you're done.
What's your game?
And I haven't ever hit. I'm a blackjack guy.
Blackjack.
Yeah, I'm a blackjack guy. But I'm let's go big and then go home.
You guys need to hang out.
I think we'd get in a lot of trouble. We need an MCON craps table, I think is what we need, because just the freaking adrenaline when you got shooter, they're rocking, and you got all the money. Oh, God, anyway. All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Right. Here's a question for you. This is how we set it up. As a storyteller, I love to ask this question. If we were watching the movie of your life, and we're going to ask you a theme, like your life, what would be the theme of your movie? What would be the genre? Would it be a drama, action, rom-com, whatever? And what actor would play you in the movie of your life?
Yeah, I think that when I think about my life, from high bullet points, plot line, it looks like an action film.
Okay.
But
John Wick-ish,
yeah, it looks like that from the outside. That's what the trailer looks very much like Point Break.
I just watched that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, ostensibly I lived Point Break, but on the inside it feels more like a dramedy. I feel like a Ben Stiller character who just happened to stumble out of Meet the Fockers and into Point Break. It's just full of just anxiety and tension and self-doubt, but I'm out there doing it.
Hell yeah. So is Stiller your guy?
I think Stiller's
the guy.
I think Stiller's my guy. Put him in John Wick and see what happens. That's awesome. And that's what it feels like on the inside. On the outside I might be Keanu, but
on the
inside I am I'm milking cats.
Have you ever seen Permanent Midnight with Ben Stiller?
No.
It's a movie you should watch. That would be closer to the character. It's funny. There's a famous line in it. He's a heroin addict. Not that you're a heroin addict, but it's completely off. I'm sorry.
No, we're cutting that. That's done.
We just met.
Sorry.
You're not far off.
He was a drug addict, but he would run every morning in Los Angeles, and he would go, "Oh, I'm an LA drug addict. Of course, I run 10 miles every morning." That was the line. I'll never forget it. It was like a darker character for him. So he would be the hybrid between a John Wick, badass, and also Ben Stiller. So. It's good. That's good. I love that. It's a great answer.
All right.
I love your authenticity there.
Now that we know that, bring us up to date on the current mission on Chimney Trail.
Yep.
What you're doing, and more importantly, why you're doing it.
It kind of goes back to because the first question. They do go hand in hand.
Perfect.
So
it's almost like we planned it that way.
Yeah. Great work.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I was a Navy SEAL officer for 15 years. My career kind of came to an end after some combat injuries and a really, really tough struggle with suicide. After making attempts on my life, I raised my hand and entered into the clinical system and said, I'm a risk to myself. And for anybody who has gone through PTSD treatment, the flagship of talk therapy is cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. It's a form of talk therapy where you do a fair amount of journaling and soul searching, and you surrender to the clinical system. You get real vulnerable, and you tell a doc all your deepest, darkest thoughts, and then the doc kind of helps you find the validity of those thoughts, or the fiction aspect of our delusions. Mm-hmm. That takes so much effort, but what's funny is that through that process, I developed skills, and I was like, actually, why didn't you give this to me 20 years ago? I would have been a way better operator. I would have gotten my guys hurt a lot less had I been able to recognize when I was developing a sense of the world and a decision-making model that was predicated on false assumptions, on delusions. Had I been able to identify that, like there would have been like probably 50% less firefights, right? Like I wouldn't have gone out patrolling to contact because I thought that SEALs in Afghanistan should be getting in gunfights. Right? That's not true. Those aren't special operations. Like that's me just looking for a fight, and I got guys hurt. And it took me a long time to make peace with that, but also like to recognize the fact that I could have avoided all that had I been given this training earlier. So Chimney Trail comes knocking on my door looking for somebody to kind of spearhead all of our relationships on the federal side, and it seemed like a natural match because at Chimney Trail what we're doing is essentially trying to deliver those skills. We provide cognitive behavioral training to people early in their careers or mid-career or even veterans post-transition, but ultimately we're trying to give people these tools so that they can not only deal with depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation, but also just make clear, more reality-based decisions. So these are skills that you need. Doesn't matter what career field you're in. What's ironic about it is I always compare CBT to Velcro, because like Velcro, if you're not familiar, was developed in like the 40s, building up into the 60s by NASA. Right? So Velcro, as you know, it was developed because NASA was afraid that once they got into microgravity, there'd be like wrenches like, hitting astronauts in the face and shit. Can I say shit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Encouraged.
Right. Okay. So they were worried that these like wrenches were going to hit people in the face, right? So Velcro was developed for space travel. But today, like, I don't have to teach my toddler how to tie his shoes because we have Velcro, right? And like, if you look at any like paramilitary kit or military kit, it's like just covered in Velcro. Essentially, this thing that was developed for space travel ends up being performance enhancing and ubiquitous and applicable in our everyday lives here on Earth. CBT was developed in the 70s by Dr. Aaron T. Beck to treat populations in severe distress. But if we apply it to our daily lives here on Earth in our modern ecosystem, it's actually performance enhancing.
Interesting.
So at Chimney Trail, we're trying to get people those skills, CBT skills, before they ever need them in a non-clinical environment in situations where they're there to get better at their daily lives, at being parents, at being soldiers, at being citizens. And they never have to raise their hand. They never have to get vulnerable with the doc. They can journal and never share it with anybody, but at least they're getting the reps and sets on these skills that are going to help them kind of crush whatever their daily task is and avoid the anxiety that has become epidemic in American society. Done.
Dude, that was great.
Fantastic. Thanks for that.
Is there, when you talk about that, is there anything that you could give the audience right now, like just a starting point to help them understand that? Now, it's a twofold question. Anything that you could tell them to do to start, and what pride do you take? Because I know you've been through a journey on yourself. What pride do you think now that you're giving that skill to someone that doesn't have to go through what you went through? So, what would you give to the audience out there, and give me an example of someone you've helped that they don't now they don't have to go through what you went through.
I think actually I'll flip it for
Yes,
you,
sir.
right? So when I go talk to young SEALs about it, I always show them like, hey man, I'm not gaslighting you. I'm not making you feel like you're broken because your mind is operating on delusions. Actually, it's your commitment to delusion that got you to where you are. You look at anybody who performs at a high level physically or cognitively, and they are fucking delusional, right? Like
So true.
right?
Yep.
Like any elite
So true.
performer has so much complete sense of confidence in self and believes that they're somehow going to rise to the cream of the crop. All of the odds are stacked against you. You're never going to be a professional ball player. You're never going to be able to become a Navy SEAL if you look at the statistical odds. Right. But if you believe in the delusion that you can do it, then you might actually get there.
You better shot.
Right? So it's your willingness and your ability to believe in your own cognitive distortions that got you here. What I'm giving you is a tool to help get you there, because that doesn't mean that those that skill that you've developed, that faith in what like the little voice inside your head is whispering, your confidence and belief and trust in that voice isn't going to be the thing that gets you there. It's not advantageous in all context. And so the thing that I try and give anybody, right, like, whether it be somebody who's already achieved an elite level of performance, or it's just like somebody struggling because they believe that they should be able to work a full day's, like a hard day's labor and then come home and put like a healthy meal on the table, and they feel the guilt of bringing their kids to McDonald's. And it's like, yeah, you feel that, right? That doesn't mean you're broken. That level of depression or anxiety, that distress that you're feeling in the moment is wildly advantageous in other contexts. Evolutionarily, human beings succeeded to survive because they had these easy shorthand cognitive distortions, these like shortcuts mentally, these decisions that they could come to without putting a lot of effort in, because we were operating on like a caloric deficit at all times, like in early hunter-gatherer days. We needed these tools. In those contexts, it's advantageous to run from everything that looks like a tiger. It's advantageous for your fight or flight response to kick in, when there is even the shred of anxiety. But just because you feel fear doesn't mean you're in danger, right? So in modern context, it's disadvantageous to buy into those things, right? But that doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you have PTSD. It actually just means that you're relying on a thought model that is advantageous in other contexts. It's just not this one.
Yeah.
And in this one, you got to employ a little bit of distance from your emotions and take a little agency over it.
Well said.
It is an amazing and very tangible, like concrete piece. It's you're talking about the people who are successful have these kind of, you have to be delusional. I come more from the startup and like the tech world, where all the time you talk about a reality distortion field, right? Or you hear all the time about SEALs make it through. It's like I'm either making it or I'm going out in a coffin. Like that's it. There's nothing.
Oh yeah.
And so what I'm curious about is, so all of these these huge kind of missions that we put ourselves in as kind of the main character. But everything you just said is like so incredibly grounded on one-to-one communication.
Yeah.
It's like understanding where you are in this moment, where you are where I am in this moment. And in a world that is obsessed with scale and obsessed with growth, how do you think about the impact that you can have personally, and that Chimney Trail can have as an organization, against this very clear reality that this is a deeply, deeply personal journey for everybody who goes through it?
Well, I mean, that's part of like a good design model, right? Is like to just relentless focus on the individual user, right? Like user-centric design. How do I develop a curriculum where like you and I can have this conversation, and you might have a breakthrough because I'm like doing my best to drop some serious knowledge that is bespoke to you.
I'm hopeful, man.
Right?
I'm here.
We can do that. But that doesn't scale very well, right? There's a throughput issue there, and essentially that's the throughput issue with all performance psychology, is that like, hey, every professional ball club has a performance psychologist. Guess how many athletes they can see and treat in a year? Not the whole ball club. At a SEAL team, we've got a psych at every SEAL team. I say we parochially, I'm not in anymore, but right? Guess how many people they can see and treat, right? What if we designed a product where people can take this journey individually in a self-paced way, right? And that's really the bread and butter of Chimney Trail's curriculum. It's all self-paced. It doesn't require any one-on-one conversation, because we've spent 7 years designing like booklets and kinesthetic learning activities that get mailed to your house that you keep, and you have an artifact of learning that is going to stay with you. The whole thing is built around the concept of taking this journey for yourself, or with your family, right, or with your kids, or with your spouse. That journey is one that I believe that's my efficacy, right? That's the measure at which I can say that we can reasonably scale, is because we've put the time and effort not to touch one life at a time, but to like develop a product that can stand on its own, so that nobody ever has to meet me, or talk to me, or my CEO, or any other employees at Chimney Trail. They just receive a box in the mail, and they open it up. They start playing with this adult Happy Meal, and they take the journey. They get honest with themselves, and it stays within the confines of their journal, right? Like, but I always compare, for like in the military crowd this hits, and for others it doesn't, but I always compare journaling to like shooting steel, right? If I'm going to teach somebody how to shoot a pistol at an elite level, we don't start with paper, and we never go to paper. Because you take 10 shots, you walk up, or maybe you're in one of these ranges where the paper comes to you, and you're like, I don't know which of these shots is what. One of them was all right, but like the feedback is so delayed. But when you shoot steel, the feedback is instantaneous. Pretty much at the moment that you pull the trigger and you feel the recoil, you either hear ting or you don't, and you can immediately make corrections. You get better at with ruthless efficiency when you shoot steel. For me, when it comes to like the deep dark journey of the soul, like journaling is like shooting steel. I couldn't tell you right now in a conversation what my thoughts are, but once I start writing them down, like I just got to look up 2 lines. I'm like, oh my goodness, look at this. I'm employing emotional reasoning again. This is it. This one's always every morning, right? And so as long as I build that into my daily practice, like I would, like push-ups, sit-ups, nutrition, sleep, journaling, right? Like that level of mindfulness. That's going to be kind of like the secret to success in keeping my, the mental knife just as sharp as the physical.
Wow, well said. That was amazing.
The visual impact of your language is incredible. That's like a very potent weapon that you have. That's amazing. The question that comes to mind for me: most people listening to this are not going to be special operations veterans, right? They're and yet the tools that you are laying out are hugely valuable to so many people. So is Chimney Trail exclusively focused on that community? If so, are there, or maybe it's not? It's not. So tell us, how can somebody who's sitting on their couch at home listening to this is like, that sounds kind of cool, I hear some of me in that. How do they learn more?
Yeah, so we partner with corporate companies. I can't give you the full Rolodex of everybody who we're involved in, but essentially, like 50%, I would say, of our business is Department of Defense and not special operations. Like our biggest contract is with the Marine Corps. We're doing our best to basically empower every Marine with these skills. And we've got things brewing with every other major service.
But can I, as an individual, go home and check out the Chimney Trail curriculum? Or
you can check out the curriculum. You can hit the website. We are eventually going to get to the point where you could just sign up and order a kit offline. And it'll look like some blend of both physical products and like digital masterclass. But any organizations out there who, either veteran service organizations or private companies who want to kind of up the game and both empower their employees or the populations they serve, as well as like actually see the benefits of performance enhancing skills and techniques. We're on run. We're sprinting through the business to business space right now.
Amazing.
So, and same thing with universities. We've got 2 or 3 contracts right now with universities, so we're hitting the student populations and always looking to expand, as well as like gyms and athletic organizations, professional sports. So we're out there. And
couldn't be more important, especially for the social media generation, which needs this desperately. So we all do, but especially when you're comparing yourself to the entire world from the comfort of your desktop or your cell phone. So.
Yes. Suddenly, they're who you're measured against. The Joneses are everywhere now, and that is a challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, man, this has been fantastic. Really grateful to you for the work you're doing, for the candor of your ability to communicate, and of course for being here at MCON and for stopping by MCON Gameday. So thank you.
Oh no, thank you so much for having us.
We will look forward to spreading the good word and hopefully following the journey as you continue to grow.
Awesome. I'll see you at the next trade show.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Man, I just was like, if you write a book, it's got to be called Shooting Steel.